House Centenary is a heritage project that uncovered the lives of the staff and patients at Stormont House Hospital during World War I in Hackney. The project is run in partnership with Hackney Museum, Hackney Archives, Stormont House School and Fifth Word Theatre, and is supported by the Heritage Lottery Fund. It was discovered that Stormont House School was transformed into a hospital during World War I. Project volunteers carried out some fascinating research which helped create a story box for pupils to explore further.
What we're trying to do as a museum is to bring alive archive material and objects that might, to the untrained eye, look like really boring pieces of paper. But some of those pieces of paper are so important. And what we wanted to teach the volunteers is how you recognise that gem of an object in a museum or archive collection that can unlock learning for people with a wide range of experiences.
I'm absolutely obsessed with history and local history. It's a lot easier to break into further historical study if you can see that history is absolutely relevant to you as an individual. And if you can see things locally, that, oh, that person who was in exactly my situation went through this. It's a window to further love of history, really.
I've always loved just going to museums, like as a kid. It's just so exciting and great, and just always have loved it and probably always will love it. Kids were actually going to use what I'd found and then use that to make an exhibition, which I thought just seemed really nice. And it sort of just, through the hours and hours of reading, just sort of kept me going a little bit.
Well, studying local history is very important because it allows people, especially young people, to really make a connection with their lives today. To be able to look at their school or their road and see what it was like at the time of World War I, it makes it easier for them to imagine what it would have been like to be here at that time.
This project celebrates the centenary of the opening of Stormont House Hospital, bringing to life the stories from the past during World War I. Pupils at Stormont House School worked as a team of experts to design an exhibition for Hackney Museum. The classroom was their office and they were known as Stormont House Team.
So we're creating our card.
What's on my card is the Stormont House team phone number, the team name, of course.
The people, like the guards that are standing outside the office, need to know who works there.
Stormont House team.
We're looking for a team to help us build a brand new display about Stormont House Hospital in World War I. To help you with the job, I will be sending you a large box full of objects to help you create your display.
Hello, it is Hackney Museum. We agree with the job and we can take on the job.
Do you have a book for us?
Oh, I can see it.
I can't dig it.
To see if the
drama to transport ourselves back in time. Pupils were able to take on the role of the staff and the patients in the hospital, bringing to life their stories and finding out what it was really like during that time. Today I sat with a patient who looked like my brother. It's 2 months since I received the letter telling us he had died while bravely fighting in France. Tomorrow we're going to learn about putting on a bandage. Thinking like the nurse who works in the hospital.
Do you think it's tricky or is it difficult?
Fitting a wood leg is kind of tricky.
That's not medicine.
Easy.
No, it's kind of
tricky.
I'm going to ask this nurse, this doctor, what are you doing?
I'm giving a patient an injection.
Doing the laundry.
Doing the laundry.
Why are you cleaning the floor?
Because there's been a patient that ill and sick.
Oh, there's been a patient that's been ill and sick. Working hard this morning?
Yes.
leg or an arm?
A leg.
A leg. Who here among us is one of our experts in bandaging?
If it's going to be too tight, it might hurt her. If it's too loose, then the bandage will come off.
I cut my whole arm.
Yeah, that's better.
Good job.
Do we have enough bandages in the medical store cupboard to be able to bandage every patient on our ward?
We're writing a list of stuff we need to bandage people's legs and stuff.
We're going to the Hackney Museum.
To know about our school, what it used to look like and what used to happen in World War I when soldiers got injured.
A bit happy and excited.
You're going to make your own exhibition or display right here in the museum. And today is your training session.
It's made in Africa.
It's like a shell.
I think it's like a famous hat.
They really relished the opportunity to tell us what they liked and what they didn't like about the museum.
I like the oven because you could pretend that you could actually take it off and you could give like tea and that.
It's someone speaking in there and you can hear them talking and speaking to you.
Trying to find something I don't like. I think it's this. I wanted to find what's in there, but I couldn't because I couldn't open it as well.
One of the highlights of the session was being able to stand in front of a blank wall and to say to the young people, this is your space. And I think for them, being able to see that empty space, you could see that their minds were already filling it with their ideas and the things that they'd seen and the people that they'd learnt about.
I liked it, the museum. I think he break his leg.
See Tommy there? He's got his on, his wooden leg. I was this close to him and the bullet could have gone into my head, but it went into his instead. That's just chance.
You know the patient called Joey?
Yes.
And he wants a new leg. We looked in the cupboard room and there's been, well, I don't know how to put this clearly, but there's no more legs for Joey.
There's no more legs?
Yeah, there's no
He's
more.
expecting his leg today, I promised.
And there's no more money for us to buy anymore.
Come back with some sensible ideas about how we're going to solve this problem.
I have some books that I've had since I was a little girl. I could go get them.
What else could we sell?
It says peace flags. It symbolises all the great stuff that all the soldiers did.
When they're gonna buy it, and they're gonna feel proud when they put it on their t-shirt.
Are you able to make these?
Yeah.
Yes.
They say we're colouring different flags.
If we make the flags, we'll raise enough money so we can buy new legs for the soldiers.
The Germans made an attack. 400 shells a minute fell in the small area of the wood. Now we call this place Devil's Wood. How I'm alive, Mother, I can't say, but I am.
Born
1896.
Now, if we were fighting, what sort of things would we have on our battlefield?
What do you think would be on the battlefield, Henry? Would there be fire?
Okay, so we could use the trees as like a bit of shelter maybe.
There'll be explosive bombs.
Barbed wire and some trenches.
We're gonna have a line in the middle.
Yeah.
And then like this all side could be the German side.
Okay.
And then this side will be the England side.
making a medical tent. It's going to be for the soldiers. They're going to end up in the battlefield.
Free.
This is a bomb that came over from the German side, the biggest bomb that there had been.
The hospital shook and I knew that we had been bombed.
It exploded. Boom.
I'm going to think about what I was doing before the bomb hit.
I was feeding my horse and all of a sudden
We heard a bomb. It was like boom.
when I went outside I saw trees that had fallen down. The horses from the stables had ran away. I jumped and said, ouch! I'm fine, I just have a shiver down my spine. I was very brave. From Megan.
It smells weird. There's like books and they all have numbers on it.
When we were down in the strong rooms, they were fascinated by seeing all the large volumes on the shelves, and they were asking so many questions about how we stored the documents and what sort of things we had there. They were really curious. It was great.
404.
We had some of the children listening to oral history interviews, and some of the others looking at a timeline and placing photos and maps in a timeline and trying to work out which of the photos must be the older ones and which are the more recent ones. So these had cars in, and these were colour photographs, so they must be more recent.
That's the old one, this is the new one. Because this one has colours on it. Then you can see pink, blue, orange.
Can you see all the banners at the top of the street?
The Hackney Empire. It looks old, and I think it goes in the olden time. They basically stay in like 1817.
We're going to listen to the story of somebody who was alive in World War I.
You must have been on holiday when the war broke out.
If you were a child in World War I,
Right.
you would have been grown up to be an elderly at this time.
The machine there is where you can see old stuff from a long time ago. Our school was a hospital, and it was in a newsletter. It was the February the 4th, 1916.
Local history makes you think a bit more rather than about just the big ideas and the big events in history, which are important. It makes you think about them from the point of view more of individuals and of communities, and I think that's a way of seeing how people reacted to them and looking at them from a more personal point of view.
That used to be where our school was.
We work very well.
I want to come here again.
The team were working on a strict deadline where they had to present their ideas for the exhibition to Hackney Museum.
Nurses and soldiers.
We're gonna stick these down and then we're gonna put pictures on it.
There's a ward and there's some patients sitting on the bed.
I'm feeling nervous, a bit happy and surprised.
I think it's going to go well.
So coming into the school to see the presentations that the young people had put together was extremely nerve-wracking. At this stage we still didn't know whether they would get the opportunity to put their exhibition into Hackney Museum. The presentations were strong. They clearly thought about how you navigate around an exhibition, the different spaces and the different themes that people might be interested in. So much work had gone into that.
She is making for bed.
The uniform that the soldiers used to wear in World War I.
Joey loses his leg in World War and we need to save him.
Please flags to buy more wooden legs.
It went good, but I was kind of scared. We did.
We have made a decision. She would like your exhibition.
This project has been a wonderful journey to go on with Hackney Museum and Stormont House School. The volunteers and the pupils all put their heart and soul into this, and I think we've come up with an exhibition that everyone is really proud of.
I felt happy because people's coming, right now people's coming and looking at our exhibition, and I hope they say good stuff about our work that we've done.
I saw my letter on that sheet and I heard myself 3 times.
What I loved about it was there's a combination of modern freshness, if you like, and visual clarity, with the opportunity to just go in a bit more in depth and link the pictures to words, to sounds. The strength of the project was taking something which could have felt very abstract, people's lives 100 years or so ago, and trying to make a connection between place and people. The immersion in the experience is what's made it real for our students. So actually trying to feel what it was like to be in the trenches, to be lonely, to be frightened. Their work is on the wall, their names are on the wall, their voices are on the phone. It's just fantastic to see what they've made of it.
It was so awesome.